Last week on the Really Bad Podcast, Miles says some shit to make my face look like this. He also says some shit for me to look like this. This is only coming out of one ear and I don't know why, so fuck you and welcome to part 2.
People, really bad people, ooh, really bad people, really bad people, really bad people, really bad people, ooh, really bad people, really bad people, really bad people, really bad people.
I ain't come home crying because I ain't no bitch. But also, no, look, it don't matter.
You lying on me, nigga? Is you
matter.
lying on me?
It don't matter because perceptively, you got to think we've dealt with racism in a way that is entirely different from somebody up north, right? And even then, up north, you go, the racism in New York is not the same as the racism in Boston. Because I done heard a nigga from Boston call a black person the N-word on an Instagram live, and then he get duffed out, but still be ready to fight for it. Because he think that's what he could do versus down here, they ain't going to say nigga to your face like that. But guess what? You say you get pulled over, you is a boy, you is this, you is this. So, like, if we can understand that our difference, no, because I'm making my point because it's my fucking podcast, so shut the fuck up.
Points and I can't respond to it
Because I'm just trying to, I'm going to end it with my point. Because my point is, though we experience things as the same thing, we experience it entirely different based off where we're from. So when it comes to an Afro-Latino, they do not live the life of a black person in that same way, because the response when they get home to some fucked up shit, when Trayvon Martin died, her household wasn't the same as our household.
Okay, but you're making the black identity exclusive to African Americans. And again, to my point,
Black does not exist without African Americans.
Hold the fuck on, nigga. Hold on. Shit, let a nigga talk. You just went on for 3 fucking minutes.
It's my podcast.
That's great.
I don't have
you.
All right, just
I don't have to
episode
be here. That's what I'm saying, nigga. I can go back in my room. No, okay. So yes, you're making it exclusive to black Americans.
No, but before you even
Continents-
make that
hold on,
point,
hold on.
no, there is no such thing as black without America.
Okay, Justin. Thank you, nigga. You already said it once. Anyway. You're making it exclusive to black Americans that live in these 50 United States, correct? Right? But that's not what being black is. The black identity, hold on, nigga. The black identity was derived from the transatlantic slave trade. Black is so much bigger than just the 50 fucking states of America, because the same boats that went to these states also went to the Caribbean. They also went to Haiti. They also went down to Mexico. They also went down to parts of South America.
And they're not black. You just named Haiti. Who are they? They're Haitians. You just named Jamaica. They're Jamaicans.
Hold on. So
Dominicans. They're
okay,
like, what are we talking about?
No, because if you let me finish making my point, like I let you do. So that goes back to your example that you gave about Asian people, right? I think Asian people was a bad example specifically because those countries specifically, the entire continent of Asia and the countries within it, have a very long-standing history of being very proud and partially divided based on
And
their
poor at
country.
driving.
All right. Based on their countries. Like,
They didn't. Hey,
Japanese people
they
hate
did take a
Korean
ship here.
people. Korean people hate Japanese. Like they all look down on the darker Asians, which is the Filipinos and the Laotians and things like that. Like they all. So there is a cultural history for thousands of years that is so much deeper rooted than the black identity as a whole that I don't think you can compare those two, right? So.
but we're talking
Yes,
about in the context of America, though. Let's get back to that.
Hold on. So while black Americans may have contrived the term black, and we have completely adopted the identity of black, and a lot of us, I don't know how you feel personally, but
We didn't adopt. We created.
Correct. But from that, damn, you made me forget where I was going. The whole point that I'm pretty much trying to say is that they are just as much black as we are. Right?
No.
They are though.
That's
You
where you're
have to-
wrong.
No, but it is though, because you have to stop looking at it from a regional thing, and you have to look at it past genetics, but honestly, just where your family history comes from. Like the biggest part to me about being black is not knowing where the fuck I come from in Africa, where our families originally originated. I've never looked into our family history, but how far back? You've done it before, right?
Yeah.
How far back can you find?
I want to say it that is credible.
Mm-hmm.
1930s, 20s.
So Grammy.
Yeah.
So our great,
the people we met.
Correct. Yeah. So we can only go to our great grandparents.
So let's say 2, 3 generations. Damn, that's crazy. 3 generations.
But that's what I'm saying though. So you get stuff like that, whereas a lot of these people from the same exact thing, a lot of these Afro-Caribbeans, they have the same exact history within them. They cannot find where their family comes back, dated back time and time before.
Nigga, that's 6 square miles this way. How the fuck you? Y'all been in the same fucking village for.
But see, the difference between them and us is that they were brought to this area. They were completely used to get all the resources from this area, and then once these other countries, these fucking colonizers that Justin likes to sleep with, once they got done using up all the resources, they left these people in this disheveled state. And from that, they created these beautiful communities and cultures from it, but
that keep them separate from us.
But the reason why they have been separated from us is, for one, this country don't want nobody in it that they don't want in it. They barely want us in it, so they definitely not taking, quoting Tony Hinchcliffe, garbage islands and shit like that. Like, they're not taking these Afro Latinos from these Caribbean islands or even Haitians. But they're not going to take them. But the biggest thing that has kept them from our culture is quite literally because we live on we are separated by water. So there's. But you can't. How can we be immersed in the same culture when you got to go take a flight to go visit that place? But see, whereas I can go drive to New York right now, I can go drive to Texas right now, Louisiana. I can go drive out west if I wanted to.
Yes,
we're connected by a landmass.
Which is my point, because our geographical connection is quite literally the thing that separates us from the others.
Okay,
which is more important, because that is where we unify. Correct. Is that we are all separate, but we can have a through line.
Born here. She was born.
But hold on, but let's talk. No, because we're past her. We're now on the point of.
But I'm asking a question specifically though, right? If someone from this different landmass, or somebody from Puerto Rico that is Afro Latino, that is born that is born here. How close you want it? Like right here?
I mean, you gotta track it. You can't talk like this.
All right. So somebody that's Afro Latino that is born here and grew up within these continuous 50 United States. So a Puerto Rican from New York. Hold on, just listen.
Say your point.
Yeah, a Puerto Rican from New York that grew up in his Puerto Rican mother's household and had Puerto Rican dinners and Puerto Rican culture and all that stuff. But still went outside and was outside on the block with a nigga that looked just like you, or was out on the block with a nigga like Matt. Matt's from New York. So he's outside with Matt.
Okay.
And so he's immersed in black culture at the same exact time as he is with his Puerto Rican heritage. What makes him not black?
The fact that he's fucking Puerto Rican. That is the same. No. Because let's talk about it. That's the same argument.
There's Puerto Ricans that look like you, so he's just Puerto Rican,
bro. Okay, there's Indian people that look like me. Are they black? No. So what I'm saying is that melanin is not
the Indian people don't look like you. There were
melanin does not define your blackness, and that is why it is important to talk about blackness separate from.
Yeah, I'm not with the separatism shit.
It's not separatism.
It is.
Because here's my thing. Let's go back to the Asians, because there is something specific. The reason that they don't call each other Asian Americans is because they understand that they are not an Asian American. They are Vietnamese American. They are Korean American. They are blah, 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 blah. The list goes on, right? You can go any country over there. When they come and assimilate to American culture, they still can go home and identify with the thing that makes them them. Now, can they identify with American? Of course, they all do. First generation Asians typically go marry a white person, and now they got little Asians, and them Asians don't know shit about shit, right? So we can go down the line, and we can always tease and pick at the point that, of course, as you assimilate to another culture, remnants of your culture will either stay or leave.
Okay.
So you can say, from somebody who is first generation, she's a first generation American in her family.
Correct.
In that regards, she is still just as Dominican as she will ever. Actually, she is more Dominican than she will ever be American. And in the identity of America, you find blackness. You cannot escape blackness in America, because blackness as a whole is a byproduct of Africans being brought to America and creating their own culture. Now, we're going to stop right there to say that is where blackness comes from. The term black is only a derivative of African Americans or descendants of African people, enslaved African people on top of that, who were stripped of their culture. The second generation of African-born people, or African-born ancestral, you know what I'm fucking trying to say. The second generation of slaves, right?
Yeah.
at that point, they
They're-
no longer had the identity. No, actually, yes.
Correct.
Nah, they no longer had the identity of Africa. Of course, there's remnants. There's
Correct.
pieces.
No,
but
yeah,
by the
always.
time we get to our great-grandparents, the ones that birthed us and brought us into this world, who have clearly been fucking picked and prodded and got so many fucking genetic combos in there, we don't even look black for some people in our family.
Mm-hmm.
They can no longer identify with the African of them, to which is not a slight. It's not a slight anymore.
I
We know
agree.
where we come from. We know where our genetics can lead. But when it comes to identifying culturally and ethnically, we have to understand that blackness has to have a restrictiveness on it. Because it is important. No more important than an Italian American, a Jewish American, an Irish American, a Vietnamese American. We don't need to blanket our shit on some white people shit where they can just call themselves white. That's what makes them so strong, is because even though they can consider themselves white, they have no issue identifying with their separate culture. Your argument about a Puerto Rican person living in New York, going back to his Puerto Rican household, but then going outside and enjoying the world with blacks, this, that, and that, is the same argument you could put toward Andrew Schultz when Andrew Schultz feels like he's credible to talk about black people.
No, it's completely
No, because
different.
what are you talking about? You're talking about an immigrant who didn't grow up around other people of his culture. There was not Scottish. There wasn't a block of Scottish niggas.
Yeah, because you're
No, no, no,
completely
I'm-
discrediting somebody's
because you're
heritage.
No,
You're
because you're
discrediting their
talking about
heritage.
identifying with a culture or a people because of proxy. By proxy, you cannot be black.
It's
So
it's
in
so
that
much
same way,
less than
no, because in that same way, let's look at fucking give me somebody who black but act white.
You gotta, dude,
Who's somebody that black that act white?
Drake.
No.
I can't think of anybody else.
Marcella Beatty again, right? Nigga throwing some cowboy boots, ride a bicycle, and put on a cowboy hat. Now he American.
You-
What the fuck happened to your blackness?
Yeah.
This is what's important.
Okay, no.
But let me just
No,
finish.
no,
this.
no,
Let me finish my last point.
Well, I want to throw some. I want to throw some relevance into it.
Okay.
So, or somebody that's more relevant that people know.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Candace Owens? Because I think
when you, my biggest view, I support anybody black.
because what's the difference between Candace and Marcella? Because not everybody knows Marcella, so that's what I'm saying.
But no, there's no difference. Honestly, they're fucking the same coon in the fucking, I don't know,
Just different
coon
genitalia.
same crab in a barrel, same coon in a basket,
Yeah,
coon in a barn. You monkey ass niggas.
that sounds like a minstrel show. Coon in a barn.
And it is, everything's a minstrel show. But see,
Yeah.
and man, let's go to fucking that. Let's go
hold
to the caricature of even black people in the history of the United States, especially in mass media. You do not see that same shit for the Dominican people. So when
yes, you do. Yes, you do.
No,
Yes, you do.
you're talking about two,
Colorism is such a big.
you're
thing
talking about
within
two different things, though.
Afro-Latino,
Yes, you can,
Latino cultures.
but it is not a complete dismantling the same way that it is in America, because this was to discredit. Our grandmother, who even lived in the Dominican for 8+ years, spoke to the way that they take the mammy caricature and disperse it within the island is of reverence. It's like this is the saint of the household down there, versus us. It was used to pick and prod and make fun of. So you're talking about even the way that they perception. This is almost proving my point. Because
I'm
this
not
is
disagreeing
important.
with you though.
But this is important. Perception is vastly more important when it comes to determining what culture you identify with. Because if you do not perceive the things the same way as me, when an African American saw Trayvon Martin die, my 12-year-old self, your 14-year-old self saw him die, Tamir Rice, the list can go on. We felt something that is entirely different from somebody of another culture.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when they come to America, they understand that we as niggas, just because they speak a little Spanish, I mean no black, soy Dominican.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even identify with Trayvon Martin the same way we do. So that's why we have to protect it. Because that is important, and that is where if we unify on the measure of we are different but the same, it works. But if we do it hey, we're all the same, don't worry about our differences, we lose.
So 2 points, because I think where you're making a big where you're making a big point where you're not wrong, and I completely agree with you, because there are very big cultural differences. But I think what you're discrediting more than anything is the fact that a lot of the things that you're speaking on are people that still live in these countries outside of people that have been whose parents came over here and birthed them, or they were born here in America, grew up completely separate from the way that their parents grew up. I feel like you're discrediting their experience and the things that attribute to the person that they are today. That yes, their heritage is a big part of it, but there is so much more difference between them and their parents than you can ignore, in my opinion. To where I feel like the identity of blackness, where yes, this person may be more familiar with their Dominican culture over Black American culture, but I don't think, again, the more that they procreate, the more the kids that they have, and the more indoctrinated in the Black American culture that they'll become, their children will be just more Black than they will be Dominican.
And that's when they can claim it.
But that's semantics of it. There was another point
that's literally not cement. You're literally talking about almost social Darwinism. So yes, until they cannot fully identify with the culture, because they are at a level of immersion that is past their first generation parent, and so on and so forth. Yes, you're because you're talking about an Italian American. Let's go to The Godfather. Them niggas had accents. I know it's a caricature, but they had accents because they could still have an accent.
So I think what my biggest, and again, I have agreed with everything that you have said. I think the problem that I have is that the way that you're coming at it sounds exclusionary.
Yes.
And exclusionary in the way of, you niggas stay over there because y'all not like us. So we'll be over here. Y'all go do that thing. And then when we need to come together, we will. But until then, you the ops. That's what it comes off.
No, because it is. But it is from a place of heart. Because what we're doing now is we're rushing to unify. And what all that is doing is this brown paper bag bullshit that we still got to go through, where when I make fun of you being light-skinned, somebody else that hear that's going to get sensitive. Bro, you my blood brother. I know why you light-skinned. Somebody in the street don't know why you light-skinned. Think about all the people that ask you all the time, is you mixed? Or
the people that ask if we have different dads.
You see what I'm saying? Like, until we can get past that point, which you want to know why we can't?
But that's a black people thing.
No. See, stop saying this. No, because it's not. Why everything gotta be the nigga's fault? Because why does the nigga not being in the home gotta be the nigga's fault? Because that nigga didn't strip his opportunity.
But that is such a big thing that we do to ourselves all the time.
Because it's not us. You say we all know who the enemy is, but then you try to pick that as,
nigga, we is not in chains no more. Let that mentality go.
See, now you're contradicting yourself. You're contradicting yourself.
No. I'm not contradicting myself. What I am is I'm holding black people to a higher level, or a higher standard of intelligence to understand.
See, now
that
because
these
now,
things have been,
that's intellectual superiority.
No, it's not intellectual superiority. Nigga, read a book, read an article, understand where you come from, and understand the things that they put in place to divide us.
And that's what you have to do. But see, that's what's exclusionary.
That's not exclusionary.
Yes, it is, because now you're talking about you're putting the onus on somebody who quite literally has not had to see, and that's privilege almost. And I'm not trying to typecast you as the happy-go-lucky Negro.
If you're watching this shit on YouTube right now, you have access to the internet. Therefore, you can go read about the history of black people within this country. And
that's crazy. That's crazy.
You can
go
read about the Jim Crow era.
So I'm gonna hold you to your same standard.
Okay.
You had the internet, you had resources, and you still couldn't finish college. Where's your college degree?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I made a personal choice.
Exactly. They're making a personal. School. They're making a No. Stop.
Those two are not the same.
Let me complete my point.
Parallel between
let me complete
my
point.
I had to pay for college. You don't gotta pay to read.
You do gotta pay for the internet.
Yeah,
what
correct.
if that nigga don't have no internet?
You're already paying for the internet. There are very few people in this country that do not have access to the internet on a daily basis.
How do you know?
Wise.
How do you
percentage
know?
Wise, because
that's not a good percentage, because if you really look, man, see, we talking about shit that really is the problem, is that you expect a nigga to meet you where you at. And that's where you think the unity comes.
I don't expect niggas
think there needs to be
but that's not what I expect.
Bro, we need equity.
If you're gonna talk
equality.
about something, you need to at least be somewhat educated on it.
Bro, we need
I'm tired of ignorance.
We need equity, not equality. You know what equity and you know the difference is? Do you know what the difference is? Equity and not equality?
Yeah.
You seen like the graphic, right?
Correct, yeah.
So we need everybody to have the same stack of bricks that they can stand on.
Correct.
I don't need a nigga who was here to get here, because that's where you're talking about where the internet comes. Correct. The internet is equality. The internet is giving niggas everything, because the second you give a nigga everything, a nigga not gonna want to open every book.
I actually don't agree with that. I think the internet is equity.
No, it's equality.
But we have misused this. It is way too much to the internet. The internet has brought a certain level of simplicity to our lives,
As it
that
should.
that has killed the bug of curiosity within most people.
Yeah, exactly my point.
Okay.
To where you're now putting the onus on somebody who quite literally, because now let's go, we're third generation internet, second generation internet, however you want to put it, right? The internet era as a whole, huh?
I don't even know when the internet started.
The .com boom is in '99, right? So
Okay,
you go.
you were quite literally born in the .com.
So you see what I'm saying? So let's just say we first generation social media. We're first generation
Yeah.
Google, right? You're talking about people who have had every known resource known to man at their fingertips. And you're trying to say the onus is on them to go read. Nigga, where? And don't tell me some bullshit.gov. Don't tell me some bull.
No.
Don't tell me, bro, let's talk about Black Lives Matter as a whole. We come to find out, and I don't really know the validity of the story, so I don't even want to really say it. But let's say that shit really was true, that they was over here taking that $9.5 million and they were buying houses and shit. Like, let's just say that nigga reads that.
Yeah.
We telling the nigga, hey, go find that information. Go read that information on the internet. That nigga gonna come back and be like, hey, man, did you know that shit is scam? And then now we got another Trump supporter. So, now that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about let's meet a nigga where they at, and let's be like, look, bro, this, that, and that. I get you don't know that. I'm not gonna look at you differently because you didn't go and seek that information. Because, nigga, you didn't seek to go get your degree the same way I didn't seek to go. No, but listen, just let me finish.
But you're wrong, though.
That doesn't, but just let me finish.
Right,
because the same way I didn't seek to get my degree, and I felt as if it was a waste of my time. That same person is gonna be on the same shit. That same nigga that didn't want to seek that information to learn further and to elaborate further into whatever story that we throw in as the important story, because that's all subjective. You're talking about yes. That's what I say. You're holding an objective disposition to a subjective issue, because you're subjectively looking at it like, nigga, go read a book. Objectively, you're right. Nigga, go read a book. Subjectively, that nigga was one of them niggas that George Bush was like, we can't leave them niggas behind. Yeah. So what you talking about is something that is more prevalent than just, hey, go look on the internet. Because you tell a nigga go look on the internet, 2 minutes later, he looking at some titties. Because that's just what happens.
But you're missing my main point. And my main point was, if you're going to sit here and speak on certain topics, if you're going to sit here and bear judgment on certain things, but come into these arguments or these places of discourse ignorant, then it is on you to go do the actual work to understand exactly what you're talking about. Because your opinion, everybody has the right to their opinion, right? But the only time that I personally see that there's no validity in someone's opinion is when they choose to be ignorant on the actual things that occurred. And the issue that I have with you choosing to be ignorant is, if you're going to go sit there and speak about something, you need to at least go take the time to go research it. There's been many of times that me and you have had conversations about something, and I've been completely ignorant to it. I will admit sometimes I've acted like I wasn't, and just to not feel dumb in the moment. But there's definitely been times where I've been ignorant to something, and I've said very little on it, and then I've gone back and researched it, and then I found a way to bring it up a couple days later because I learned something beyond what our conversation was before. You have to have, and that's what I say again, where it's like I'm not looking down on anybody for not doing that, because I am just as guilty as everybody else as well. But because we have the access to everything, and it is as simple as just typing certain words into Google and you can get 30 different results with 30 different varying opinions on certain things, and then going through all of that to figure out what's credible, what's not credible, what information is completely the truth, or which ones they're just what's it called when you make something shorter, summarizing. When you're summarizing things, like I'm just as guilty for that as everybody else. But again, my point is that the internet killed that bug of curiosity. You can't sit here and speak on things because you read a tweet, or you read a thread of tweets, or got clicked to a link from a tweet or Instagram post or all that other shit. You read a little brief thing and now you're completely knowledgeable on it, so I'm gonna sit here and have discourse with everybody online. You can't do that. And
okay, but what good is it if that nigga picked up one James Baldwin book and now he's an expert on blackness?
But he's not. You can never be an expert.
But you see what I'm saying? Everybody comes with a level of ignorance, no matter the conversation.
But nobody's an expert on anything.
You just basically said what I just said.
To be within the know.
That's some white people shit.
but I mean this is the cliche or the saying that they say about intellect. But a true intellect knows that they know nothing at all.
Okay.
So but that's what I'm saying though. So you have
but you just made statements. Speaking of the onus on the person for basically being accountable for understanding the thing that they're talking about, which at the same level is your ignorance playing a part, because you truly, and I mean this from a place of love and not from a place of any disrespect, but you truly are dumb as fuck because but I wasn't even gonna say that, but I was like, you're completely ignorant to the way that person grew up. So the same way that you say that nigga could have been indoctrinated by his daddy to say ain't nothing good in that book but the Bible, because we do understand that the only book that a lot of people read verbatim in the black community is the King James edition of the Christian Bible. So we're talking about something that's deep, and we're talking about something that's deep, and we're talking something that's not isolated, something that's not like in a vacuum. These things are not vacuumed.
You're completely right, but this goes to conversations that me and you both have off camera quite often, which is that they're growing up and finding ways to continuously grow is understanding that you must unlearn the things that were taught to you as a child.
But not everybody can have that type of reconcile with their like anything.
Right. And that's the other thing.
Or
like,
resolve
I do want to make
almost.
it clear that I do not look down on people whatsoever. Yes, I do have certain strong opinions about people who have invalid opinions, in my opinion. But again, they're opinions. What mom say about opinions? Everybody got them. They're like assholes. Everybody got them. Something more to others.
Just
like,
continue,
like
bro.
that.
Why you got to bring up that lady?
She's a good woman.
But she just be saying shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
but that was valid. That was valid.
Now that's a nigga that read a tweet and be like, you know what I read
Yeah.
today in this 10-hour documentary that I watched that was really just a tweet.
But
like that's
I
some dumbass shit.
I will attribute that to your level of knowledge and
My retention is crazy.
But the reason why
Pause.
you did that is because people sat around and told us a whole bunch of shit our entire life, and then you started learning that a lot of the shit that they told us wasn't right. So you was like, you niggas really don't know what the fuck you talking about. Let me go learn this shit for myself so I don't sound dumb like you when I'm 30, 40, 50, have my own kids or try to teach. So
but you're talking about it. But what you just spoke to is something that's even more important. Our dad says continuously, stop looking. This ain't what the internet tells you. This is real life. I'm like, nigga, that don't make no fucking sense. You're dumb as shit because the internet is a part of real life. The internet is just. I know more about the things that my father tells me I know nothing about. Like, I know more about music and music theory than my father has ever touched, but he swears he knows music more than us, right? Like, when it comes to, like, let's just say hip-hop, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not discrediting him for his interpretation of
it.
Huh?
Yeah, it's because he grew up in it, saw the
I'm
of
so
it.
hip-hop, bro.
Right.
The hip-hop you talking about hasn't existed since you said you knew about it.
Correct.
So when you talk about things like that, and as it constantly evolves, we got to understand that we are separate. We are separate in generation. We're separate in age. And I'm gonna get back to that point because that's where this that's where this all stems from. It is okay because if you don't embrace your differences, you are that is erasure as a whole. You know what white people really want? You know what the powers that be really want? They want us to forget what makes us unique.
Correct.
So that we can wear that same green or orange jumpsuit. And I'm not even talking about prison. I'm just talking about the indoctrination of it. So that we can be like, oh yeah, we're black. We're just all black. But all I'm saying is, if we come as, because think about it, we had different captors almost.
But I got I'm so glad you brought up hip hop because that's exactly what blackness is to me. Where there's hip hop, which is blackness. The two between the two. Hip hop is a form of music. Blackness is a cultural, social identity, whatever. And then there's subgenres within hip hop itself.
Yes.
So you have alternative, you have boom bap, you got this drill rap, all that other shit. You got UK shit, all that other stuff.
Right.
That is what the subgenres of blackness is. So there's Black American, there's Afro Latino, there's Africans that have come over here to America, so they're still very heavy in there.
Continue.
But that's what it is. So that is.
But here's no. See what you just said. Actually, no. I actually gotta no.
Yeah, we gotta unite.
No. Because let's go. You got. Let's say you got. Jazz is Africa.
Okay.
Jazz is the origin.
Nah, yeah, you're making it too complex.
No, because this is where it really comes down to. Jazz is the origin. Basically, jazz is the origin of music, modern music.
Okay.
From that, you get the blues.
Mm-hmm.
That's African Americans. That's slavery. That's them.
Okay.
Then from jazz, you get Afrobeat, which is a derivative of jazz because jazz was in Africa before Afrobeat became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get, let's just say reggaeton, and then you get reggae, right? So that main genre birthed 4 different types of genres, drastically different, but with a similar through line, whether it's signature, whether it's instrumentation, whether it's interpolation of certain sounds, songs, and cultures. though there are similarities, as you then break down and you go generation to generation to where from the blues you get rock. From rock is the coons, right? Rock is you niggas that fucked white women, and then you did the first generation of biracials. You know what I'm saying? It's our father, or our grandmother.
I was talking about you, but yeah.
But I'm saying, right? So then you got rock, and then from the blues also came fucking R&B and soul, and then you get hip hop. Like that is where the separatism comes to where if we all go back to this origin, it's jazz. It's the rhythmic selections of multiple cultures coming to a modernized context, which is literally jazz, where you get certain jazzes. You got Ethiopian jazz, you got fucking Nigerian jazz. You have jazz of all variations, and they all are coming from the Duke Ellingtons, and they're all coming from these pioneers, the Fela Kutis, the everything.
Yeah, you're making great points. I think you made a great analogy.
That is where blackness, if you want to talk about the diaspora, or no, let's just say the African diaspora, where you're valid. You're valid. I get it. Oh, yeah, we all come from the same source, the motherland almost. But then you're not gonna listen to fucking.
So hold on.
You're not gonna listen to rock and be like, man, this is so black.
No, your analogy is great. I was speaking more of the introduction, how hip hop was one thing at one time, and then the introduction of new influences made subgenres within it. So that's
which is blackness.
So
and you
exactly.
said the African, and you
And
said
then-
that, and
and
that's
then
what I'm
from
saying. That's what
there,
I'm saying.
so
You're too reduced. You're making it too concise, as if you can follow the coordinates and just get to the same place. I'm saying
not
no,
true.
it's more spread and it has more depth. To say you're not you're talking about.
You're talking about the identity on a global standpoint. I was speaking on it on a specifically to the country that we live in standpoint.
But that's what I'm saying. Nigerians don't come over here. First generation, second generation Africans aren't coming over here and being like, oh shit.
They
actually,
did at one point.
Actually, no, because I was about to say, let's go like that Toby and Wigwe nigga. That nigga came from an African household, but he talked like he from where he from.
The rapper nigga.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I mean, there's definitely outliers to it. Of course, there's always going to be outliers. But even in being an outlier, you still have to understand that it is better if we come together as rock, if we come together as the blues, and if we keep our own differences while understanding our through line is here. We all go back to the same place. But if we over here muddying the waters and we doing Afrobeat beat with fucking conscious rap lyrics, and then we got a bitch shaking ass, like we gotta really put shit into
I completely agree with you. I think again though, I feel like what you were saying before sounded more exclusionary. I
am being exclusionary.
I don't think so. I think what you just said there was very that was very come together. You're saying don't drop your cultural identity to fall under this one.
Yes, don't be a nigga. Like,
but
what I'm really trying to say is don't just make
together.
Blackness a nigga.
Yes,
make blackness Afro-Latino. Make blackness this.
I think that's what I was saying.
No. But see, and I'm because my agreement is that yes, but when that person says she's black, no, I'm sorry. Like, sweetie, you are Afro-Latino, and let that be okay.
Oh no, okay,
but let that be okay, and let being African okay. Like, I feel like we're so stringent, and let niggas be niggas. Like, we're so like we're basically trying to erase niggas almost, and that's where it makes me mad because I'm like,
as Dr. Umar said, you can't save all the boys on the corner. So sometimes you gotta
bro,
get
you
rid of
really
niggas.
are not speaking to the mic, and it's pissing me the
What are you talking about? It's right by my mouth.
No, this is not picking up your vocals.
I don't know. I watch a lot of stand-up, so I feel like this does just as much as this does. But I am clearly wrong because I'm watching it right now. Yeah.
Anyway.
There I go being our father, thinking I know more.
From a nigga who's done
apologize.
46 episodes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Let me
so,
shut the fuck up. Let you talk.
So basically, to wrap up this conversation, because it was all stemming from you being a fucking cheater.
Allegedly.
And disrespecting Afro. See, you know what? I gotta take it back. I didn't You've
disrespect
actually never disrespected a black woman. Only African asterisk.
So hold on, I did have a question though. Speaking of Afro Latinos, so, well, I guess I kind of already answered this in my head, but another person that I know is her father's black American, and her mother is Puerto Rican from Puerto Rico. So how do you consider them on the blackness chart that we just talked about?
They're black because but
they also grew up in Marietta too. So
they have a black, but you're talking about a black father.
Parent, yep.
You're talking about a black parent in the household. So because and here's my question. Here you said Puerto Rican.
Correct.
They can't claim Puerto Rican the same way that they can claim blackness.
Why not?
Because they grew up and an environment exclusive to black people. Not to say, let me not say exclusive, but conducive to, like, okay, let's do it like this.
Hold on.
let's
finish that because I feel like you're about to contradict yourself from an earlier point.
No, I'm just saying, like, when you come into the color of it, she was exposed to blackness at a scale far greater than her Puerto Rican heritage.
I don't feel like you can say that because her Puerto Rican mother and Puerto Rican grandparents and Puerto Rican aunts and uncles all grew up around her and raised her just as much as her black side of the family did.
See, we're talking about a virtue of equality and what is equitable in that nature. It's not the same. Because when she went to school, she didn't see other Puerto Ricans.
She saw the Latinos and spoke Spanish with them.
But she did not see other Puerto Ricans. She
Possibly, I don't know.
But you're talking about what did she see a majority of in that regard? It was black people. She saw more. She saw more African Americans that are more geared to her. She saw her father's side from a broader perspective than she ever saw her Puerto Rican heritage. Because she can't. She did not go up the street and go play with Bad Bunny Jr.
You know what? Let's table that because. For a later episode.
Yeah. But still, I still
be a great
think.
Question.
No, I'm not gonna ask that question for the context of that episode, though. I'm trying to see.
Yeah. All right. Bet.
But you see what I'm saying? But you see what I'm saying? Like, there's so much. And see,
again though.
let's go back to the. Let's finish this.
I feel like you're discrediting the Puerto Rican side, but yes.
I'm not discrediting her Puerto Rican side. All I'm saying is
her experience of her Puerto Rican heritage.
She did not experience Puerto Rican the same way that she experienced her blackness or being a black person in America.
So how does that differ from?
Because when she has children and if she does not choose to have a Puerto Rican child, though that child speaks Spanish or that child has the opportunity to speak Spanish and have exposure to, that will be like what is the Kanye bar?
Hold on, you can't even break that down to like a genetic thing either because
we're not talking about genetics there because genetics is bullshit when it comes to Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. They're still black or they're still African genetically.
But that's what I'm saying. It's still a cultural identity. So if they're immersed in the language, if they speak the language, they speak the culture.
No. They're not immersed in the language. They're exposed to the language. Immersion is not the same.
But I would.
Her father didn't speak Spanish.
But her mother did exclusively to her only in the house.
Bro, that's like.
Actually, I take that back. Her dad did speak Spanish. Oh, actually, I don't know.
But see, that's no different than when the white kids have the nanny until they 6 and can speak Spanish fluently. You feel what I'm saying? Like we gotta really start. We gotta everybody. All ethnicities, bro. Start being more exclusionary. Y'all letting all these white people that are K-pop fans. That shit is disgusting. But I'm for it because make your coin. But like you really gotta stop letting these niggas go to the fucking. What are them shits called? The Hajimes or whatever the fuck y'all be calling y'all shit. I'm not gonna act like I give a fuck.
Yeah.
But y'all really gotta stop letting these niggas in hot pot acting like they know y'all identity. Keep that shit exclusive sometimes. Keep some shit in your back pocket because these white people will start to steal.
I ain't gonna lie, that low key be me when I be going to Korean
you
barbecue.
Feel me? You be trying to put niggas on. You get a bitch that ain't never been to K-pop. You be like, come here. Or hot pot.
Well, I don't go to hot pot, but I go to Korean barbecue a lot. But that's just because I learned a lot from Sean.
And
hey, Demon Home. Shout out Sean.
He
back?
free?
Yeah, he free. He's in Korea right now getting LASIK surgery and shit because it's cheaper over there. But he said when he come back, he gonna hit us up.
He gonna be able to come back?
Yeah, he good.
Okay.
He good. Yeah. He didn't get deported over there.
Anyway.
I don't know. Shout out Trump.
So let's end this with this.
I feel like we should talk about some funny shit before we end. But
no. Why you so fiending to be funny now, nigga? You went and made this more political than I wanted it to be.
I'm not fiending for it to be funny or to be funny.
This is fucking stupid. Right. God damn it. No, I'm not talking about what you.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm not apologizing.
Yeah,
you need to stop apologizing.
Yeah, fuck you.
Anyway, I burned off all them Oreos. Just talking.
No, your ass did not. You sat down the whole time, bitch. You ain't burn off
I got
shit.
up like 3 times to make sure the camera was still on.
You got your steps in.
All I'm saying is that for us to unify, we need to understand why we're separate, why we have separation within us, why we are a puzzle rather than a singular piece. And that in itself will make the unification of our people, of the diaspora, far greater and far stronger than anything we've ever seen before. And that's what Malcolm and Martin were trying to do because they all figured out, it ain't about whether you follow a Christian God or an Islamic God. It's about the fact that these white people want us poor because the second them niggas started talking about money, what did they do? Put that nigga out on a balcony, put that nigga out on the stage. Them niggas was gone 15 minutes. The second they started talking about, shit, the problem ain't niggas not being able to be niggas in America. The problem ain't the 3/5 compromise. The problem is we get 3/5 of the dollar. Oh, what happened? Niggas get mysteriously spooked out, and now niggas is killing niggas. Now we acting like, see, we talk about governmental conspiracies. No, it's just the white man understanding one thing. If we unify on some real shit, knowing that, yeah, we still gonna be different, but that paper's still green, guess what? Spooky hours. I might be dead after saying this shit. Hopefully this the episode that don't blow up when I blow up, so that way I can just be like, it never was recorded. What?
Ain't nobody say that shit.
I'm gonna be a sellout. I said all this to say I'm gonna be a fucking coon. Tap the fuck dancing. Y'all gonna see me in Sprite commercials. Y'all gonna see me. I'm a hug Drake.
You and Marcella gonna start a podcast?
I'd rather kill myself than listen to that nigga speak.
Type shit.
And I've offered it. If you have any type of intellectual warfare where you want to sit down in this chair, go head to head, pause. Cause I know you slave built in the face, so I know you got a bigger dick than me. So I don't even want to see your penis. All I'm saying is that and he got a big nose.
Stop talking about this nigga dick and just talk about your intellectual brawl.
We can get that shit on.
Type shit.
Nah, cause niggas like him gonna be like, but my dick bigger, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, nigga, and I'm gonna be kind of defeated. I'm gonna be like, okay, you're right.
But you got the head that matter, bro. They can't take this
Don't-
from you,
hey,
king.
whoa.
They can't take this from you, king.
Don't touch my shoulder like that. When you set the
You
head,
got aroused.
that's my erogenous. So I'm gonna break this up into 2 episodes.
Ooh, your first be continued.
I'm gonna do. No, it's gonna be my second by the time this comes out. I'm gonna release this today. So yeah, never mind.
Oh, you already got a 2-parter in the tuck?
I haven't done it. I haven't edited yet, but
Got you.
I mean,
got
they've
you.
nigga. We done talked enough for the sun to go down.
Have we really been talking for 2 hours?
No, it's an hour.
Okay.
It's an hour and 16 minutes.
Got you.
All right. Anything else?
Nah, man. I love you.
Really bad people, really bad people.